All right, the economy is the number one issue in the election. Trump is promising all sorts of things to lure voters. The latest he's come up with is he's calling for an end to taxing Social Security benefits. This would amount to a loss of nearly $2 trillion in revenue for the federal government. About 70 million people get Social Security, so they're bound to like this idea. But doesn't this just exacerbate the looming crisis with Social Security?
Well, it would bankrupt Social Security, and it would also get us closer to a looming debt crisis. And so, just to remind viewers, Donald Trump generated $7.8 trillion of deficit spending in the 4 years that he was president. If we went from George Washington to George W. Bush, we got $7 trillion. But Mr. Trump in 4 years eclipsed that. So what Mr. Trump is calling for is very dangerous. He's over-promising people. He either won't be able to deliver on those promises or he'll put us in a fiscal crisis. He's also promised people no tax on tips. And that's going to be another revenue hole for the United States. And so what I would suggest to people is that the economy is improving. Yes, we've had some hiccups. The stock market is uneven. Some of that has to do with leverage in the system, Elizabeth, more than it has to do with deteriorating fundamentals. The Fed will likely cut rates a few times this year to help stabilize those numbers. But generally, good things are happening. We're onshoring manufacturing. We're making microprocessor chips in the United States now. And the Biden administration, through their infrastructure bill, has passed a bridge and tunnels reformation that is lowering the cost of business and lowering the transportation of goods and services. So for those reasons, I want to stay the course with the Biden-Harris team.
But I don't have to. It's not a newsflash, Anthony, to tell you that most Americans don't feel like the economy's going well. Most Americans are quite unhappy with their their grocery bill and their, when they fill up their car, and even lately when they look at their 401k.
So what basically happened is we inducted too much money into the system during COVID. We dropped rates to zero. We sent almost $3 trillion in a fiscal stimulus to help people while we were asking them to stay in their homes. That money, plus a disconnection in the supply chain, so you had a lot of money in the system and less supply of goods, led to this inflation. Now, the Biden administration is being blamed for that, but this is really a situational outcome from COVID. Had Donald Trump won that election, we'd be talking about Trump inflation. We have a tendency to personalize these things on our politicians. The fact that they're situational and circumstantial. So I think those things are improving. Just quickly, if you go to Truflation, that's truflation.com, you can actually see the aggregate inflation number. It's a little bit different of a statistic than CPI, and it's only at 2.2% on Truflation. So these numbers are coming down. People will start feeling it in their grocery bills shortly.
I hope so.
But yes, I understand. I understand the pain that's out there.
Yeah. Meantime, I got to ask you, we learned today that Governor Tim Walz, the new vice presidential Democratic nominee, doesn't own a single stock or bond, isn't invested in any mutual funds, doesn't own any real estate. The only investments he and his wife own are their teacher's pension. This is unusual.
Well, I don't know him well, but I could say that there are a lot of teachers that I do know that are in a similar situation. And so not surprising. And I think, honestly, when I travel America, do various speeches, there are people that are way underinvested in stocks. I would tell the governor, buy some stocks. You're still a young man. You and I are the same age. Buy some stocks and hold them for the long run.
All right. Very quickly, Trump is calling Walz an extremist and a communist. But when you look at the data, Minnesota is the 6th best state in America for big business. Target, 3M, United Healthcare, General Mills, they're all headquartered in Minnesota.
Yeah, well, also, you'll find Donald Trump on tape praising Governor Walz's approach to the George Floyd riots and saying that he's an excellent guy. So, listen, that's Donald Trump. Of course, he's going to attack the guy. But I think he's showing very well. I think the first impression that Tim Walz has shown to the American people is quite positive, and I think his record will speak for itself. I think he was a good pick by Vice President Harris.
You worked for former President Trump for a handful of days. There were reports that the Trump camp was, quote, relieved that it was Walz and not Shapiro. Do you think that's in fact the case?
I do think that. I think that they were worried that Shapiro is a little bit more moderate than Governor Walz. And there is even some reports that they were handing out opposition research against Shapiro to feed the hard left to get him knocked out of the sweepstakes. So, yes, I do believe that Wall Street wanted Shapiro. They see him as a more moderate person than Governor Walz. But I think Governor Walz's record is a solid record. And remember, I'll just use what Donald Trump said at the NABJ. He said, well, doesn't the vice presidency not matter that much? I think he said. So this will be a race between Vice President Harris and Mr. Trump. We'll have to see what happens.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.